You are now listening to Obtain, Achieve, Thrive, Hustle with Metro. Come take the oath.
Yeah, it's your boy Metro North, aka Robert Drowney Jr., aka El Megalodon, your neighborhood villain. You know what I'm saying? We back with another episode of Oath. Like I said last episode, No Country for Weak Men is available right now. All you have to do is send an email to metronorthmusic@gmail.com. Send me an email and I will send you the link. As of right now, the project is free. But right now, I'm also working on a marketing strategy to where I can make some money off of this shit. Cause I had a conversation with my man Dot, aka Cashier, and a few other people, and they like, yo, just do direct to consumer like you trying to do, but attach the Cash App or the Venmo and all of that. So shoot me a email at metronorthmusic@gmail.com and I will send you the link for free right now. This is kind of gonna be a limited run until July. And what is it? What's today? 2026. It's June 24th today. By July, this project will no longer be available for free. A few people got it, like I said before, and those are the people who support me and who really behind the scenes help me sequence these projects, that give me good feedback, positive feedback, critical feedback. They help me make these records. They help me put these songs in order, and they got the project, and I have not gotten any bad feedback about this project. Somebody said I'm on my Griselda shit, and I been listening to the project a lot, and I'm like, I see what they saying, but it's not a full Griselda sounding project. It's, a couple different sounds up there, but I definitely hear what they mean. It's my cadence. It's certain songs that the way I rapped and the flows, I understand, but I appreciate everyone who has heard it and has gotten back to me with some positive feedback. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate every ounce of support that I get from everyone. You feel what I'm saying? I gotta stop saying you feel what I'm saying? I feel like I say that shit every other sentence, just like how the Kid Miro be on High 97 and he be like, know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? He says that shit like so much. But yeah, like I said, shoot me an email. I forgot to put the email in the description of the last episode, but I will do it for this episode. Shoot me an email. I send you that link for the free ski right now. Once July comes, it's gonna be $8 if you want that link. You heard? Shout out to my man Scar Finesse. He sent me some promo that he did for the record that we have together called For the Ones That I Love. Great verse. I reached out to him to get on this track because when I was doing the track, when I was doing the track, I was trying to figure out who I wanted on this project. And when I did this song, I heard him on it. Before I even wrote my verse, I heard him on it. So when I reached out, he was like, he said it in his post. He was honored because he kind of was in a slump when it came to the music, and me reaching out to him and asking him to be on a project that really inspired him, and he felt honored. So I appreciate him doing that for me. He didn't have to do that. That also brings me to excuse me, god damn. That also brings me to a part of the reason why I'm becoming a villain. The part of the reason why I'm becoming a villain. I asked a couple projects. I've asked people to do features for me, right? And if needed, I would have paid. One thing I don't appreciate is when a motherfucker yes you to death, right? I ask you for a feature. Yeah, 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 I got you. Yeah, 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 I got you. When it comes time to execute, I even tell them too, like, yo, if you don't want to pay for studio time, I'll pull up on you with my lab. I've done that. I've done that with several people, including Scar Finesse. That record that we did, we recorded that in the back hallway of his apartment. And it blew his mind the way I was dedicated to getting this record done and I catered to his needs. And that's the type of time I be on. But some of these artists, or so called artists, rappers, whatever you want to call them, content creators, they'll yes you to death. And when it comes time to do what it does, they'll leave you on read, sent, received, opened. Uh, you won't hear from them for months until it's time for when they need something, or you know, you just get no response. Why tell me yeah in the first place? Like, if if you don't want to do the song, or you just don't want to work with me, period, just say that. Don't string me along because you're trying to avoid some type of conflict that you in your head you kind of create. Because a lot of people create these things, these ideas in their head that if you tell a motherfucker no, he gonna get in his feelings and it's gonna be a conflict. Not me. If you tell me no for whatever reason that you don't have time, you're not interested, or you just don't have nothing to, record. Just say that. I will respect it 1,000 times more if dudes just kept it real. But when you yeah me to death, and then when I'm like, all right, let's get it, and like I said, I'll pull up on you with the lab if needed, so you don't have to pay for studio time and engineer, and because I know how it be. As an artist out here, we not the richest, we up and coming, or if we not up and coming, we just getting started, so you don't have the money to go towards studio time and videos and all of that. That's why I don't really have any music videos. I made my first music video this year for Give It Up, and I directed it, edited, I did everything myself. And it's not my best work, but it shows you that I'm dedicated to doing this, even though I do it as a hobby, a labor of love, basically. But anyways, these artists, they disappoint me when they do that. And this goes back to Paradise City, the first one. I asked a few people to get on the song, and it was one person who I asked and they couldn't do it, but they kept it real. They was like, I'm gonna listen to it and get in the groove. They listened to it and they was like, yeah, I fuck with it. But at the time they were doing something else, and what they were doing was far more important than getting on a song with me for a project I had going on. You know what I'm saying? They was doing big things, TV shows and shit. So I didn't sweat that because I understood. But when you see them, like, I'm gonna say it like this: I asked somebody to get on a song. They say, yeah, this is somebody who I've supported, who I've literally did so much for as far as like music and merch, ideas, all of this shit, right? I asked them to get on this song because when I did the song, I thought about them, and I was like, damn, I never really asked them for a favor, and I've done a lot on my end to support them and help them. Motherfucker tells me, yeah. I'm like, I bet. Send me your music email. I'm gonna send you the track. No response. 4 days go by. No response. I send the track with my verse via text. No response. Not even a reaction. Doesn't even say read. 2 weeks go by. Nothing. Quiet. Tumbleweeds. Crickets. So now I'm like, alright, whatever. Fuck it. I had somebody else get on the track. They executed. They understood the assignment, as they say. Song came out great. I'm not sweating it though. That same week, I see this person online doing music with an out of town nigga. Cool. I'm not hating. Definitely not hating because the person they was working with, I'm cool with. You know, I would actually like to work with them if possible. But I seen this, and like I said, I'm not hating, but I was in my feelings about if you doing all of this and you in the stool and you working with somebody else, why not just say that? Why leave me on with no response? Just cliffhanger type shit. So I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I've been slowly becoming a villain, right? I'm not gonna say fuck that person, fuck that artist and all of that, but I'm like, I'm falling back. There's gonna be no more support because I'm not supporting people who support who don't support me, should I say. I feel like with my whole support your local hustlers campaign, and if you keep up with me, you'll probably notice that I haven't been really on that lately. Like, I may post a hashtag a few times, but you don't see me really stressing it no more ever since Social Sundays podcast got canceled. Because I feel like I put a lot of support behind people, and when it come to my projects, there's literally like I could probably count on my hands people that I personally know my music and actually support me and reach out and be like, yo, that shit was hard, and show me that they appreciate what I'm doing and to keep going. But it is what it is, man. I don't want to talk about this shit no more. Um, like I said, No Country for Weak Man is available. Just shoot me an email. I'll send you the link for the free ski because in July, you know what I mean, yesterday's price ain't today's price is what they used to say. But you know what I mean, I gotta figure out a way to make some money off this. And if I could go direct to consumer and make a profit, that's where I'm going because the DSPs ain't it, bro. I'm spending all this money to upload these songs to get them distributed, and I check my motherfucking algorithms and my analytics, and I'm just like, nah, I'm not getting the bang for my buck. And I understand it's on me to promote and put money behind promotion and really get out there and post, but I don't really be on social media like that. I need to do more posting when it comes to my music and my content. But shoot me an email while I'm working on this marketing plan. Shoot me an email. I'll send you the link for the free. So let's get back into. Let me look at my notes where we left off. So we're gonna get back into the prison stories. I usually don't do the prison stories, but I was talking about it with somebody the other day, and they was like, "Yo, you should actually talk about your experience." And these episodes ain't really going into too much detail because I want to save some stories for other podcasts in the future, whether it's mine, whether it's somebody else's. Shout out to Gen TV too, out in Waterbury. I salute y'all. Like, I've been keeping up with them. They really got the content right now. So I really want to get on their show. But anyways, so where we left off on the last episode was me being in Rogowski Annex. And it was me, my man Rich, my man John, my man G, 1-8. I forgot to mention my man Shane. Shout out to my man Shane. He from the East End and shit. He was in there with us. It was a lot of good dudes in there. My man Bryce from Stanford. You know what I mean? So we up in there, we chilling, like I said, like 7 months. I'm comfortable. You know what I'm saying? John in there paying for all the food that we cooking up. Hot beef, wraps, mackerel, all types of shit. We was just up. We was in there living the best that you can under them circumstances. So, during that 7 months, now I'm locked into this bed, but I'm getting comfortable because we out all day. The place I'm at is more like a camp, less like a prison. I'm outside majority of the time, so I'm getting fresh air. Because in McDougal and other prisons, you don't really get to go outside like that, So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a little bit too much. So about this, maybe the 5th or 6th month of me being in the annex, they got a banger in the dorm. So for people who don't know what a banger is or a stinger is, basically it's what we use to heat up food, heat up water to cook. Right? It's basically an extension cord or some type of electrical cord cut at the opposite end of the plug that goes into the wall. So you makeshift this shit. You use batteries. You use wire. I mean, it get creative in prison. So this is considered contraband. So you have to always keep it hidden, right? And it's kind of easy to hide them because you can just disguise them as something that's plugged in, you know. But at this particular point, they're moving the banger behind people's bunks. And this is like literally when like shit started shifting, the energy started shifting, right? And there was a lot of people in there that I was cool with, but there was also a lot of people in there that I didn't know. So, like I said, they moving the banger around, so it went from one person's bunk to another. They put it behind my bunk. Now, I was kind of like dead center in the dorm because the beds were lined up against the wall. So if there was 6 beds lined up against the wall, I was probably the fourth one. And I had a couple cellies during the time I was in there because they were moving a lot of people around. And at this time, my cellie was this dude named Gary. Now, Gary was cool. Gary Gray. He was cool, but he was one of those young boys that just came from the youth jail. So he was kind of like, not wild, but he was, he put himself out there. He laughed, giggled, joke around with niggas. But if shit ever got serious, I could tell that he wouldn't really hold it down. So one day, I'm working out. I go to my bunk. Now, I never used the banger. I didn't need to use the banger because we had a microwave and all of that, and I only kind of made stuff when we were out for rec. So I never used the banger. So I go to my bunk. I pull out some oatmeal, some peanut butter. I go sit on my bunk. Matter of fact, no. I make the oatmeal. I'm in the day room where the microwave's at. I come back. I sit on my bunk, and I could smell the banger burning. That means there's no water in there. So when they use the banger, they usually put water in a cup or a fluff cup or whatever. They dip it in there, and the water usually has like some type of salt, um, some type of seasoning pack in the water to activate the heat. I guess I don't know, but I smell it and I notice that the banger's behind my bunk. So behind my bunk, I got my visiting shit. I got fresh pairs of sneakers, and I got my man Rich shit back there. Cause Rich didn't have a lock on his locker. I had a lock on my locker. So the shit that couldn't fit in my locker, I put behind my bunk. So I get up, I'm smelling, I look around, I see that all of the water from the banger cup is all behind my bunk, all over the floor. So one, that's disrespectful as fuck, and somebody was actually using it. I don't know to this day who was using it, but it's disrespectful as fuck for you to even have that shit by my bunk and you not keeping an eye on it. Two, why that shit behind my bunk when I don't use the banger? So I don't know what came over me, man, but I get up, I see that, I move my bed while Gary's on the top bunk. I move the bed with him on it. I pull it off the wall. I look, I see that there's rust water all over, like, certain shit that I got back there. But luckily, Rich had all his feet, and I had all my feet in garbage bags, like clear garbage bags, so nothing won't get on it, no dust, no water. But I'm like, still, this shit wild disrespectful. Like, y'all niggas is just carelessly throwing this shit back here, not checking on it. Shit just heating up. Shit could start a fire, burn my shit up. Nigga, I rip that motherfucking bang out the wall. I rip it out the wall, and I throw that shit down the middle of the fucking dorm. And I go, hey, yo, I don't use that banger, so don't put that shit next to my bunk. Y'all niggas got, my nigga Rich shit wet. Y'all got my shit wet, balls. Like, I'm going off. And I'm standing in the middle of the dorm, and there's mad different dorms that can hear me because we surrounded by dorms. Everybody that's at the poker table lift their head up, they looking over at me. And I could tell 1-8 was kind of like, yeah, whatever, nigga. He was one of them niggas, you know what I'm saying? But I'm spazzing, like, I'm airing out my grievances, like, yo, y'all niggas ain't got no morals. Like it was a lot of shit that was going on. I was building up to this that I'm gonna get into later on. But I'm going off. Some weirdo, some Latin King nigga, he get up off his bunk like, yo, and I feel like it was him that was using the banger, but he get up off his bunk and he like, yo, who you talking to? So now this shit sent me into super crip. Like, I'm like, nigga, I'm talking in general. I'm talking to everybody, nigga. What the fuck you want to do about it? So he start talking shit. He walking closer to me. So now I'm getting like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? The aggression that I've been, holding in is kind of coming out. And my man Rich and my man G see that. G kind of don't step in, but Rich step in. Rich get in front of me. And I'm like, straight up, what the fuck you want to do? I'm like, and I'm the only loc in here, nigga. I'm basically banging on this nigga like we in California, bro. Because I was so angry. This is the only thing that I could think of to say and really like intimidate him. So I'm banging on him and shit. And it's mad people in there. They listening to what I'm saying. So they calm it down. I calm down. I leave the dorm. I go outside. You know what I mean? I walk around the dorm and shit. So then later on that night, niggas moved the banger. I think they put the banger like next to the day room table or some shit like that. Cause we had a day room table in our dorm. So they moved it and they never put it near my bunk again. And I could tell a lot of people felt some type of way of what I said and how I approached the situation. But if it was them, they would be on the same type of time. They would be mad because it's disrespectful. You gotta have respect for other people's shit in there. That's one thing I learned in prison is if you ain't got respect for others, you can't expect to get no respect back. But a lot of people don't think like that. A lot of people don't have the logic in their brain or the ethics to be like, well, let me move a certain way so I don't get my ass whipped. And unfortunately, they still move crazy and recklessly and don't get their ass whipped. I've had several ass whippings. That's why I move the way I move, you feel me? I got chunks of my face missing, knuckles is all messed up, all bunch of shit. But anyways, they calm it down. Later on that night, this is where I came up with, like I said, me and my man Stu, we used to like sit in front of our cube and just talk shit about everybody. So now that I'm in this dorm, I started that night where I would stand up next to my man or sit next to my man G Bunk, and it was a few of us and shit that we could actually be funny and joke around with. And I was sitting next to G Bunk and just go off on niggas, just start flaming them. I'm straight flaming them. And I got everybody laughing, but I'm doing this though like at 11 at night. I'm doing it mad late at night. So it's kind of getting people upset because, dudes are trying to go to sleep. They niggas trying to watch their shows, but I'm like, nah, fuck that. And if anybody want to fight, let's go. Like I said, I'm super duper comfortable. I feel like super nigga in there. Then the next situation, I'm so comfortable, man. Next situation, my man Theo that I was with in McDougal Walker in assessment, he comes to the jail. He finds out I'm in the jail. He sends me a kite. Yo, what's up? I hit him back with the, what's good? I'm over here in the annex. Yo, he like, yo, go to church. We could chop it up. I'll probably go to church one time. And I'm like, it ain't for me. I ain't coming back. It was too many people in there. They catch you talking. They put you out there. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. Just write me the kites. Bring it to somebody who's trustworthy enough to, get it directly to me. So we going back and forth a few times. And it's like the back end of the summer. It's like August, September. So, they do basketball intramurals and shit. So they like, yo, you gonna do intramurals? I'm like, nah, bro. Like, I ain't trying to do that. I avoided playing basketball majority of my bid. So then, I guess some kid that I had problems with out on the street. That's a whole nother story in itself that I'm gonna break down later on. He comes to the jail. Now, at this time, I'm kind of over whatever problems I had in the street. I'm focused on what's in front of me and what I gotta deal with, on this journey. But Theo sends me a kite from old boy. And in this kite, he basically like, yo, I ain't with the shits no more. I ain't on demon time no more. Such and such shot me. I found that crazy that he even said that shit in a kite. Like, he name dropping in a kite. Yo, such and such shot me. They gave me 5 years. I ain't even on that type of time no more. So whatever type of bullshit, niggas was on, we ain't on that no more. Well, I can't speak for everybody else, but I don't want no problems. I ain't on that shit. So that reignited the fire I had in my veins for these niggas, because it was some real shit that was going on. Like real crazy street shit. So now I don't even write Theo back. I send my brother straight a letter. And at the time we were in contact while he was in the other prison, we would send a letter to each other's girl, and they would send our letters to, one another. I didn't know at this time. Oh my God, there's so many side stories. I didn't know at the time bro had his mail under review because he was in another prison getting in the shit. So he kept catching tickets, all types of shit. I didn't know this. So when I write him this letter, again, I was comfortable. I write him this letter, and I write him the most craziest letters. I'm talking about I'm naming names, and I'm saying what I'm gonna do to this person if I catch them in the blocks. I'm saying all types of crib shit, all types of shit. And he don't even bang. Like he a civilian basically. So I'm just on some. At the time I'm writing the letter, I'm in my feelings. So I send the letter out. About a week and a half later, I call his brother, right, Mark. I call his brother Mark. Mark like, yo, them niggas sent bro to the box, and they about to put him in the gang block. So I don't put two and two together at first. I'm thinking he got in some shit, and they putting him in there. I didn't know that the letter that I wrote him. I didn't know that the letter that I wrote him was the reason why they put him under SRG in investigation. So then I end up talking to my shorty, and she like, yeah, yo, they picked bro up. He got lost of mail. And he over in Corrigan. Now, I'm next door to Corrigan. He was in like Brooklyn or Cheshire somewhere. So I'm like, word, yo, tell him to just sit tight. Like, tell him don't join no gang while he in there. Don't be associated with certain niggas, cause that's why he was getting in the shit in the first place. So that happens. My shorty talking to his girl, so she telling me how stressed out this nigga is, and they got him on 23-1, and just a bunch of crazy shit. So then, probably a week after that, it's commissary day. Chilling. I'm still in my feelings about that banging shit, so I'm still staying up late talking shit. And if niggas want to fight, we can fight. Like, I'm on that type of time. Boy, did they humble me real motherfucking quick. Listen, I got my commissary. Future had just dropped Dirty Sprite 2. So at this point, it's been like 11 years since this shit happened. Future had just dropped Dirty Sprite 2, and you could order CDs in there, and sometimes it'll take like a month for a CD to come. If Future dropped that shit, if like Future just dropped that shit, I probably got it 3 weeks after he dropped it. So that's fairly new in jail, because all we was hearing on the radio was like Percocet. I forget what the fuck the song is, and certain songs, like, you ain't really hear the full deep cuts and shit like that. So I got it. It's commissary day. I'm packing my shit up, putting it in the locker, putting my lock on there. I'm about to go work out. I got my sweatsuit on, my Nikes. I got my headphones on. All I hear is, yo, Rivera, Now, I ain't never really been in no shit my whole bit for them to be calling me. Unless it's like legal mail or the counselor, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, I see one CO. Never seen him before. He like, yo, come to the gate. As I get up to walk to the gate, I see two more COs. Then I see a CO that I know, that I'm cool with. He come through with the camera. So when you see that camera come out and they calling your name, just know you going to jail. You going to the box. So now my face go from eyebrows raised to confused, like, the fuck? So they like, yeah, come to the gate. So, cause I kind of slowed down as I was walking towards the gate. So then the CO with the camera, as he's equipping the camera to turn it on, he like, yo, like he's saying it like discreetly, like, yo, just be compliant. Like, they giving you a ticket, you under investigation. He not really supposed to tell you. They supposed to just pack you up and then they give you your ticket when you get to the pen. So I'm like, all right, since he put it that way, fuck it, let's go. I cuff up. They bringing me down there. Now where I'm at is wide open, so everybody see me getting cuffed. Everybody asking me what happened. I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's mad people in my dorm that's like looking confused. John over there looking like he about to cry. Like, it was just it was just confusing everybody because they're like, damn, why bro going to the box? Like, what he do? Like, yo, let him slide. I still don't know what's going on. So them niggas take me, they record, I'm cracking jokes while they got me cuffed. So this walk that I had to take with these police was the longest walk ever. It's like a perp walk because it's an open prison. It's a level 3, so everybody out of that rack, they don't lock the whole jail down like they do in level 4s when somebody go to the box. So I'm walking through the jail. I gotta leave the annex. When you leave the annex, it's a long walkway leading up to the main building in Rogowski. The main building has 4 dorms, and those dorms have windows you can see into the main. They call it the main concourse, basically. Everybody coming to the windows, looking. Yo, what happened? Yo, what happened? I'm like, yo, I don't know, bro. That was the last time a lot of them dudes seen me. Listen, they put me under the fucking jail. They sent me to the box. I'm in the box. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck going on? What in the fuck is going on? So they like, yo, we gonna bring you the ticket. Hold on, just wait. I'm in there from probably, if it was like 12:15, because it was early. If it was like 12:15, I'm probably in that bullpen till about 6:30, bro. PM. And they finally bring me the ticket, and it said SRG investigation. They like, yeah, we send you to the box, and then you're gonna go to basically what they have in prison is court. You're gonna go and you can fight the ticket if you want to. At the time, I'm like, I don't see the problem with, what the situation is, because I still don't know that letter is the reason why I'm in this situation. So I'm kind of like, bro, like, SRG, like, what? I know that I was, I banged on a nigga a few weeks earlier. So I'm thinking, yo, somebody dropped a slip on me. It was a lot of rat niggas in there, a lot of weird niggas, a lot of homo niggas. It was just mad niggas in there that I was kind of like thinking in my head, like, yo, it could have been him after I banged on this man. Or it could have been these dudes who was mad because me and Rich was in there all the time laughing at niggas. Like, I'm not thinking about that letter. So they send me to the box, right? I get to the box probably 9 p.m. that night. So now I'm like, damn, they put me in the cell with, I forget homie name. Some white dude, right? They put me in the cell with him. And he like, yo, what they bring you to the box for? So, you about to be living with a nigga for Lord knows how long in sex. So we start chopping it up. So I'm telling him, yo, I don't really know. They talking about SRG. He like, bro, don't fight that shit, bro. He like, yo, do not fight that ticket. He like, you fight that ticket, they gonna put you under the fucking jail. That's under the fucking jail. That's under the jail. So I'm like, I bet. He like, yo, listen, when you get to either A or B block, because that's where they had the SRG blocks. He like, when you get in there, bro, don't talk to nobody. And he was kind of like dropping some knowledge, but I'm still like, yo, I don't know, like, this shit ain't right. But when he was telling me don't fight the ticket, I took that in consideration because I'm like, yeah, I kind of don't want to be on, 50 days lost of this. And I just lost my contact visits. Just mad shit. So then he ended up getting taken out the next morning, right? They moved this other dude in the cell with me, right? Oh my God, I forget his name. I think, I'm trying to remember bro name. He from New London, he said. But cuz walked in, right? He tall. He looked like a dark skin, like a dark skinned Indian dude, right? So, when you first see somebody, when you in prison, when you first see somebody, you just kind of go like, he look like this. You do that shit in life in general, but I'm like, yo, this dude look mad Indian and funny. Nigga shit, he had to pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing, but his hair on the sides and the back was long. So he come in the cell, he look at me and shit, and he go, what's good? And he says his name, he say where he from and shit. So I say my name, where I'm from. So we start chopping it up. The more I'm talking to him, I can see that he's more like, cool, laid back nigga. He just mad. He like, yo, they got me for an SRG ticket because I dapped somebody up and I don't even bang no more. Just mad funny shit, bro. Like he was just in a situation where he couldn't really, explain himself. They just locked him up and threw away the key. So he like, yo, I know you was looking at my head when I first walked in the cell, my nigga. Listen, in the streets, all I wear is do-rags and fitteds. He like, I've been with my girl 7 years and she ain't never seen my hair. Bruh, I fucking bust out laughing, bruh. This nigga's shit was like, it was receding like as if he had alopecia. And he knew, he was self-conscious about it. So he like, when people see him, that's the first thing they look at. Because that was the first thing I looked at. So me and him get mad cool in there and shit. So then, few days, I think I'm in seg for like 15, 16 days. The 14th day, they call me to go to court. So I don't fight the ticket. They like, yo, do you want to go down there and fight the ticket? Or you can sign this paper and we'll get you up out of here tomorrow. You'll be in SRG until you finish the program. I'm like, fuck it, I'll take the ticket. So I signed the papers. They kick me out the next day out of SAG. I go down there. That's why I meet my man Lowrider, right? Rolling 20 blood. That's my nigga, a.k.a. Chico. He was up under house and facing all them. So I walk in the cell. It's the first time I ever heard of this. First time I ever heard of neighborhoods. That's blood. So he tell me like, I walk in the cell. He like, yeah, rolling 20, nigga, neighborhood crip. Neighborhood blood. So I'm like, what? He like, yeah, he breaking this shit down to me. We end up staying up until like 4 in the morning to the point Tosh .0 on TV. We chopping it up and shit. So me and him get real cool. Bro, I end up spending, I think I spent exactly a year. I went in there, I got in there October 14th of 2015. Was it 2015? I don't remember exactly, but it was like that back end of the summer. It was getting cold out. And then I spent like a year in there. So while I'm in there, I meet Coup de Crack. I meet my man Bezel. I meet Black Rose. I meet the nigga House. I meet Red Dread. I meet Chaos. I met all of these people. All of these people I met was good dudes. All of these people I met were good dudes. It was just, the gangbanging shit. Some people, they let that shit control their life. So, they come to prison and they thinking we on the yard and seeing Quentin is some crazy shit. And, they get caught up in this program. So, me and my man Lowrider in there, we chilling. I end up getting a Tierman job, which was crazy because I signed up for the job the first day that I was in there. And I got that shit literally 4 days into me being at SRG. So he like, oh, you lit. He like, you a Tierman for what shift? I'm like, shit, third shift. He like, oh, you coming out at night? He like, yo, he dropped the gem on me. He like, yo, don't talk on nobody's door. When you sweeping on the top tier and the bottom tier, he like, just keep your head down because these shields is gonna be watching everything you do. So he kind of showing me and telling me how to move in a block, because I'm thinking this is a regular block. I don't think nothing about this high security shit. Anything you do in SRG, they go back to you being a gang member. Like, you can say what up to somebody. The way you say what up to somebody, they looking at it like, what type of encrypted code we got to decipher what he means when he tells him what's good, bro. So one day I'm in there, my next door neighbor, his name was Kev. He was 30s, right? Dirt gang. He was in there stressing. So one day he like knocks on my wall. He talking to Lowrider. So they said some funny shit. Then I said, I had a little rebuttal. Bam, now all three of us is talking. We not even supposed to be talking through the cause we used to talk through like the little holes in the wall where the electrical shit is. So we talking and shit, we laughing. So then me and Kev get real cool. He like, yeah, I'm from motherfucking Norwalk. Well, he's from Stanford, but he be in Norwalk. This, that, and the third. He got shot in the stomach. He giving me his whole backstory. His mans comes to the block, right? Another rolling 30 nigga named Papa. Now, this nigga is off the chain. Like, I'm talking crazy. You don't give a fuck. So once he find out, and I'm about to say some crazy shit, but when me and him initially first met, and he found out, who I was affiliated with and all of that, he kind of, damn, I don't want to say this, but fuck it. He kind of was like, yo, let me get up under you. He like, yo, the homies, they ain't really holding me down like that, and I'm in here dolo, like Kev, my only other homie in here, and cool to crack, but niggas ain't holding me down in the street like they holding these niggas down. I'm telling them, nah. He going so hard trying to be gang that he sent me his paperwork and everything. Now, I'm not saying that I'm super duper big homie while I'm in there, but I'm carrying myself super duper serious. I'm carrying myself with a high standard. Like, I'm not really associating with niggas. Niggas is coming up to me, so people watching, and they like, yo, who this little nigga in here with the motherfucking with the big ass jumpsuit that's always standing by the phones, and everybody keep checking in with him. But yo, real talk, from the outside looking in, it looked like, yo, that's big homie. But reality is, these niggas is coming up to me and we cracking jokes, and it ain't even on no gang time. So he's seeing niggas doing all of this, so he sends me his paperwork, his affidavits, all of this shit. He like, yo, da 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 da. Let me be gang. So I'm like, nah, I don't believe in doing that when you in jail, because I didn't plan on being around that nigga when we was locked up. Once we got free, and I know that nigga had way more time than me. He was locked up for poking a nigga up, like damn near attempt. So one day I'm sweeping and shit. This nigga always used to be on the door, bro. Always on the door. Oh, every time you look up at his cell, you see his face right in the window. So his man Kev was stressing and some shit, so I guess he wanted to send him a kite. Nigga slides the kite under the door, like, yo, that's for Kev. So I'm not gonna lie, I knew that that there was a kite. That it was a kite. Obviously, I'm looking down. He slides it under, but I kept sweeping. I heard what he said, and I'm like, all right, cool. There's a CO that worked in this block. Nigga name was Santini, old Tweety Bird, bald head ass, puss ass nigga, right? Always had it out for me. Always had it out for me, because he also seen what everybody else was seeing. I'm standing in the corner, everybody coming up to me. He watching me. I never say more than 2 words when I'm around him. Every time he come by my door when he doing his rounds, me and my celly in there going hard with the workouts. So he just trying to find something to get me. He watching me as I'm sweeping. So the way the block is built is like a big ass triangle. So if I'm sweeping going down the tier, I'm going towards the tip of this triangle. So I go sweep this nigga's kite into this pile. It was a bunch of shit, pieces of paper, dust, hair, just a bunch of shit, because everybody used to sweep their cells out and under the door. So I got a bunch of shit up there. I go back down to the downstairs in the broom closet to go grab a dustpan. As I come down, the nigga Santini's coming up the other way to do his round. I don't notice this though. So I'm just working. As I'm coming out of the broom closet, I'm on the bottom tee walking past the bubble because the bubble's in the dead center of the block. I just hear this nigga go, "This is why you gotta watch these guys. Yo, Revere, lock up." And he talking cash shit. So I'm like, shit, lock up, bet. I go lock up. But he don't let me grab my stuff off of the shower thing, off of the shower area. Because after I clean up, I usually take a shower and then I lock up. He like, nah, don't grab none of that, just lock up. I don't know what he's talking about exactly. Because I didn't notice that he picked the kite up. So I go on my cell and I'm like, I ain't gonna make it hot just in case whatever happens. Lowrider goes to the door. So I'm sitting in the chair in the back of the cell. Lowrider like, yo, he reading something. I'm like, shit, he got that kite. And I'm praying in my head like, yo, I hope Papa wasn't in there wilding out, whacking out bees, doing a bunch of crazy gang member shit, right? These niggas is both COs is reading it because it's two COs. It's usually three, but at night third shift there's only two COs. Excuse me. So the nigga hops on the phone. Lil Ryder say, he like, yo, he getting on the phone. Yo, he must be calling the brass. So then, oh my god, now my heart beating and shit. And I'm like, oh my god, bro, I just got in here. I only been in here I've been in here for less than a month. I just got a job. I ain't even start the gang program yet. Man, he calls the brass. The brass come in. They all looking at this kite. So I'm like, I'm telling Cav through the wall, like, yo, what they reading was for you. And I don't know what Papa said or if he said your name or anything, but yo, just be prepared. I'm not thinking that they gonna come for me though. I'm just like, fuck, I'm about to lose my job. Like, I'm about to be locked in this cell all day, only one wreck a day. So next thing you know, they sent like 4 more COs in the block. Mind you, it's mad late. It's damn near midnight around this time. So more COs come in. One CO, he comes up the steps. Everybody else go to the bubble. He come up the steps. He like, rare. I'm like, yo. And it's the same CO that had the camera. So I'm like, yo, do they know me and him cool? Like, they always sending him. So he like, yo, come step out of the cell. They don't cuff me or nothing. They just put me in this little area, this little sally port. So he walks in the sally port with me. So then the niggas start asking questions like, what you bang? So I'm explaining to him. He like, yeah, like how you even get into this lifestyle? You know, I did the whole backstory for him because I was cool with him. I had a respect for him. So then I break into the, like how y'all put us all in this block and say we security risk. Majority of the people in that block was not even, they wasn't shot callers, they wasn't big homies. It was just a bunch of niggas that was just gang banging, like, talking a certain way, doing certain handshakes, write songs a certain way. Like, it was nobody really in there for like gang activity, like poking niggas up, starting riots. There was nobody in there for none of that shit really, other than like housing and dude Face and shit. And they had Face living in SAG. So it wasn't really no real big time gang banging niggas in there. And I'm like, yo, y'all got us all up in here on this 23 and 1 shit. And this shit got niggas stressed out. He like, yeah, it's just a program. He tells me, he like, yo, it's a program from out of state that they started back in the day when there was all those riots and shit. And it was like, all I could do was really just shake my head. So he like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. He like, that kite, it's not looking good for you. He like, who wrote it? And I'm like, I don't know who wrote it. Somebody slid that shit under the door, I guess. And I just swept it up. I'm like, I'm sweeping. I'm like, I don't want no trouble. Why would I just get in the program and I'm already doing stupid shit? So he like, I understand that, but it don't look like that. They're gonna look back at the cameras and see what cell it came from. At that point, I'm like, fuck it. I don't know who did it, bro. Like, I don't know who slid it under there. Y'all could look back at the cameras because they didn't see me talking on anybody's door. They could probably go back and see who slid it, but I'm like, hey, that's none of my business. Them niggas cuff me up, send me back to SAG. Oh my God. Man, I go back up there and this time I'm like, I'm fighting this ticket because it's not a SR, it's not a investigation ticket, right? At this point, I'm in here. I think this ticket, I don't even remember what the ticket was, but it was a class A. It was probably like passing or some shit like that. Bullshit. I fight the ticket. I used the counselor of the block as my advocate because you needed an advocate, right? Like a fake lawyer. He don't do nothing for me. He just let them smoke my boots. They like, all right, you got 4 more days in the box, and you want 30 days loss of mail, 15 days loss of commissary, and I forget what the other one. Oh, loss of phone. The niggas had me on 10 days loss of phone, 10, 15, and 30. Bro, I was tight, bruh. I'm talking about I'm sitting in saying madder than a mother. I'm doing 100 push-ups in the morning, 150 in the afternoon, and damn near 200, like 290, 280 at night. One shower every other day, or you could go outside. I went outside for 2 days and went in the shower for 2 days, and I just kept alternating that shit. I get back out. Now I'm on the bottom tier. And I'm leaving a lot of stuff out because, like I said, I want to save some of these stories and details for later times. But I get to the bottom tier, and I'm in the cell with my man Gio. Right, Gio was a Latin king, but this nigga had scoliosis, bad. I'm talking about spine fucked up. I'm talking about this nigga walked. When he walked, he leaned back and then swung his upper body forward. Like, I'm like, bro, why they don't get this nigga no crutches or a wheelchair? He was just out here thugging it. Me and him eventually, like, we get real cool. And I start, joking with him and laughing at him because I peeped within the first 20 minutes of us talking, he didn't take himself really serious. He knew what he looked like when he walked. He knew what he looked like when he stood up. Couldn't stand up straight. He was all fucked up. He was all bent up and shit. And I used to be like, you all bent up out of shape and shit. The nigga would be standing at the door waiting for the mail to come and just so randomly fall. Like the nigga would be standing up and then you in a blink of an eye, he on the floor just laughing and giggling. And he was cool. He was my celly for a minute. My man Bezel was next door to me. Chaos was on the other side of me. And Speedy from 30s was on the other side of me too. So it was like, I had a little cool situation. Everybody from my O.A.T.H was like, used to come to the door like, yo, you straight? Here come Papa. Yo, my bad, my nigga. If you need me to pop on anybody, yo, I'll do it. I'm like, chill out with all that dumb shit, bro. Like, niggas ain't, like, it ain't even, we ain't on that type of time in here. We trying to get up out of this program. But I'm in that program, like I said, for like a year. Mad funny shit happen. I'm going to leave out. But mad funny shit happening. Niggas is in there joking around, saying crazy shit, making fun of niggas. Then Giovanni ends up, his level drops and he finished the program. So now he going to Carl Robinson. They end up moving this one nigga in my cell. I never forget this nigga named Pauls from New Haven. Oh my God, bruh. When I tell you, this nigga was like the worst type of celly you could have when you in your bed, like when you deep into your bed and you establish the routine and you have your ways of doing things in your living space. This nigga moves in. First thing he says, this is how I know he was gonna be a problem. First thing he says is, hey yo, I don't bang, I ain't associated with nothing. The only reason why I'm in here is because I wrote a rap dissing a Crip nigga. I just bust out laughing like, what, my nigga? Like, ain't nobody, like, niggas ain't in here on that type of time. So all he keep talking about is how he a rapper, how he was scamming when he was in the street. They was calling it free bands or whatever back then, 2015. So he like, he one of these niggas where he want to talk to people he know. He wasn't from New Haven. He was from Middletown, actually. Because my man Royalty, He was from Middletown, and his older brother, Paul's older brother, was the nigga Royalty's right hand man. Yeah, shout out to my nigga Royalty, my nigga Jordan. But he used to always be on the door trying to talk to the nigga Royalty and shit. And Royalty wasn't really giving him no play because, Royalty been in the gang program from phase one. So it's like, you ain't taking no chances when you was in phase one. I started at like phase three. Phase one and two, boy, that's 24-hour lockdown, nigga. That's cuffed from the shower to your bed and all that other bullshit. But the nigga used to always try to talk to me about his shorty, right? Yo, my shorty, like, and I think he was in jail for a domestic with her. So he like, yo, my shorty out there doing a thing, and I've been down fairly long, so I'm kind of fucking with him. Like, I'm like, yeah, bro, most likely. I'm like, nigga, my bitch out there fucking around too. I'm saying shit like, yeah, man, my shorty be out there with them loving hip hop dresses on, with the titties out. Like ass out. She out in the club, niggas just fucking my bitch. And he like, yo, you think that's happening with my shorty? I said, bro, you what? 4 months in, hell yeah, she doing that shit. I'm like, she out there getting her back blown out the trap queen, because that was on the radio at the time. I'm like, she outside, bro, and ain't nothing you could do about it. You ain't here with us. I said, and then on top of that, on top of you being in prison, you in SRG, nigga. I said, you can't get on the phone when you want to get on the phone. You can't send no letters out and get in contact with her ASAP. He in there stressing. He holding his head up every day for mail call, bro. This nigga is literally at the door like a dog, just sitting there waiting for some. And then I was getting mail and pictures and shit like that. So he used to feel some type of way. But I'm like, nigga, it ain't my fault you was out there knocking your shorty out, hitting, going upside her head and shit, gorilla pimping, whatever the fuck you was doing. So one day, the CO that I know from McDougal ended up coming to that block. So I tell him, like, yo, my celly had like a hernia or something, so he used to go to medical and shit. So one day he was out at medical, so I tell the CO, like, yo, if he's back by mail call, tell him, because he's going to ask you, when's mail coming? When he asks you when mail's coming, tell this nigga that there was a shooting at the post office, and that all mail is not being delivered until further notice. Bro, this nigga comes back just in time. Fucking at the time, it's like probably 3 something on channel 8 in the Slammer, TMZ come on, TMZ live. So around that time, I stopped watching TMZ live, so I would let him watch my TV because he ain't having TV. I would let him watch that shit, and I just take a nap until like child or some shit. So this particular day I stay up, but I'm listening to something. I forget what I'm listening to. So I see him get up. I see the seal do one round. He does another round. My celly at the door. He like, yo, when mail coming? I take my headphones off and I'm waiting to hear if the CO gonna tell him, yo, shout out to that CO. I forget your name. I think his name was Quinn. He goes, nah, bro, some dude went crazy and shot up a bunch of people at the post office out here, so all mail has been postponed. This nigga turns around. I'm talking about quick, fast. This nigga runs up to the bunk and just changes my TV to fucking NBC News. He's waiting to see like there was a shooting and shit. So then I hear the CO like, yo, it's not gonna be on the news yet. This shit just happened like this morning. Nigga, this nigga was stressing. And I'm like thinking in my head, like, bro, how you know you was even gonna get some fucking mail? I stopped waiting for mail within like my first 5 months of being in jail. Like, that shit gonna get here when it get here. This nigga was in that motherfucker waiting on that mail because he was waiting on his BM to hit him back. And I'm not gonna hold you. Shorty was fire. You know what I'm saying? I ain't look at niggas, girls like that, but when he showed me his BM, I'm like, yo, you got something, my nigga. Like, and you out here wilding out. So she's definitely out there fucking with a nigga that's scamming harder than you, driving a Mozzie truck, and she getting fucked. But That nigga was in my cell just raising hell, bro. That nigga was getting in this shit. He was getting in arguments at the poker table. He was always stressing over his shorty. And then this nigga had a hernia surgery scheduled. So he was going to be out the cell for a minute. So I'm thinking in my head like, oh, I'm about to have a cell to myself. And it's not what y'all thinking. But I'm like, y'all gonna be able to work out. I'm gonna be able to just move freely in the cell, clean up when I want to clean up. I ain't got nobody in my way, nobody watching my TV, niggas sitting right next to me while I'm asleep. You know what I mean? That shit is uncomfortable. For all my niggas who been locked up and did time, you understand me when I say that shit is uncomfortable when you got a bum ass nigga in your cell, right? Claiming he was getting money, but he ain't had no TV, he ain't had no beeper, he ain't had no CD player. I gave that nigga my Sony, you heard? I gave that nigga my Sony CD player with the adapter that I got from my man Ramon. So just to get him up out of my face, and I gave him 2 CDs to go with it. So fucking the nigga ended up going to get the surgery. He going for like a week. So now I'm in that motherfucker. I'm playing music. I'm working out. I'm going ham. Like, he come back probably like, yeah, like a good week later, he come back. Now they like, yeah, they about to send him out again because he needs a second surgery. But this time they moving him. Like, they move all his shit up out of the cell, all that. So, I mean, like, I kind of show some love to him a little bit. The last night he was in the cell, we chefed up. I mean, nice little farewell. Like, nigga, good riddance, good luck. He ended up leaving the same day. They moved my man, my dog, my bro. My nigga Token was, a.k.a. Marcus. Marcus Gill, that's my man, bro. For real, much love to that boy. I ain't talked to him in a minute, but wherever he at in life, I'm hoping that you doing well. But he walks in the cell. He look like he damn near about to break down on some John shit. Like, he just look like, yo, what's going on? So he come in the cell and shit. He comes in as I'm cooking. So once I see him cooking a nice size little mac, you know what I mean, some Jack Mac, bam, I break that shit down the middle, get that nigga some rice, some hot beef mixed in the rice, kind of like a gumbo with a wrap over it, right? Bam, I break them off. I got 2 trays here. He like, yo, good lugs. So we start chopping it up, and me and him clicked. I'm talking about I ain't clicked like this with a nigga since I met Rich. So me and him chopping it up. We chopping it up all night. We laughing. He telling me a situation how he was in SRG back in the day because he was blood, but he dropped his flag because niggas done him dirty. Niggas left him for dead in the situation, but he never finished the program. So when you go home from SRG, if you ever come back to prison, you going straight back into the program. That's what happened with him. So he like, yeah, he had a warrant for a gun. He was from Waterbury and shit. He like, I had a warrant for a gun. Niggas came through, pulled me over, locked me the fuck up. Next thing you know, I went from county straight here. I'm like, damn, bro. So he like, bro, I got like 4 or 5 kids. My shorty out there, she don't work right now. And he's stressing over family shit. So now I'm like, you know, I don't got a family at the time, but I'm like, I feel the pain. Like, you trying to do the right thing and niggas pulling you back into this bullshit. And I will eventually learn how that feels, you know, later on down the line after I came home. That shit is not a good feeling. So me and him rocking out at SRG OD. We going crazy. We cooking. We telling jokes. You know what I mean? Like, we just vibing, bro. That was like kind of a good time when I was in that program. So, shit, before I knew it, a year was up. They like, yeah, yo, sign these papers. You out of here. You out of here in 3 days. Bam, so I'm telling the nigga Token, like, yo, I'm about to dip. But whoever moving the cell with you, like, just hold it down, my nigga. Stay yourself. Don't act tough. Don't be on no dumb shit in here. Don't fall for these niggas gimmicks in here. Bam, I slide off. They send me to the regular block, Gen Pop in Corrigan. Now I'm in there for about 2 or 3 days. I finally get on the horn, tell everybody I'm out of the program. I don't know where they about to send me though. Oh man, listen. Them niggas end up sending me to Osborne, CI, Correctional Institution. Bruh, that's the place that I eventually would be released on parole from. But we gonna end this one here at me leaving SRG and, you know, getting in the Jen Pop and Corrigan and shit. But one thing I did learn from all of the shit that I've spoke about so far on this podcast is I attract good people because everybody that I met in there that I'm still associated with today or connected with today, they all good people. I learned once we came home and I linked up with certain people and seen people in passing, I learned that like a lot of the people who were attracted to me, pause, or like really connected with me when I was in prison, a lot of them were good dudes, family men, stand up niggas, you know what I'm saying? Real gangsters, for real, for real. So like I learned that a lot of people in life come into your life. A lot of people come into your life and leave an impression, and a lot of these guys left an impression in a positive way in my life. Like my man Token and my man Low Rider. To this very day, I still say jokes that no one knows what I'm talking about when I say, but if I said it in front of them, they would die laughing. Like they left an imprint on me that was like very, very positive. And that goes for a lot of people that I was locked up with that I still talk to this day, like Fleet, Rich, John, you know what I mean? And not saying everybody that I crossed paths with was bad, but majority of these people, you know, they were good guys, you know, and the people who, you know, I had problems with or you know, didn't really fuck with like that, I mean, it was neither here or there with them, you know. It wasn't, you know, nothing too serious. But we gonna do a part 3 of Prison Was. Again, it's been another episode of O.A.T.H, where we obtain, we achieve, we thrive, and we always go on hustle.